From the beautiful island of Tobago comes the radical voice of power, Bishop Roll Reed of the Mount Grace Open Bible Church. Sunday morning worship service at Mount Grace is at 8 a.m. Patience Hill Open Bible Sundays at 8 a.m. Roxborough Open Bible Sundays at 9 a.m. Castaro Open Bible Sundays at 10 a.m. Junior Church at 8 a.m. Sunday Youth Service at 6 p.m. Tuesdays Healing and Deliverance Service. Wednesdays Prayer Meeting and Bible Study. Fridays Hour of Power. We also provide a daycare and kindergarten school service from Monday to Friday. Office hours Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. For counseling and prayer, call 639-6403 or email us at mountgraceopenbible@gmail.com. God bless you, and our doors are open wide to welcome one and all.
God's not dead. He is alive. I can feel him all over me. I can feel him in my heart. I can feel him in my feet. I can feel him in the church. I can feel him in the street. I can feel him in the air. I can feel him everywhere. I can feel him all over. I can feel him in my heart. I can feel him in my hands. I can feel him in my feet. I can feel him in the church. I can feel him in the street. I can feel him in the air. I can feel him everywhere. I can feel him all over. No, 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 no. God's not dead. He is alive. God's not dead. He is alive. God's not dead. He is alive. I can feel him all over me. Oh, God's not dead. He is alive. Hallelujah. God's not dead. Praise God. He is alive. My God's not dead. He is alive. I can feel him all over me. I can feel him. I can feel him in my hands. I can feel him in my feet. I can feel him in the church. I can feel him in the street. I can feel him in the air. I can feel him everywhere. I can feel him all over me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. God's not dead. Hallelujah. He is alive. God's not dead. He is alive. God's not dead. He is alive. I can feel him all over me. God is not dead. God is not dead. Why don't you trust him and you will see what is done for you and me? God is not dead. He's alive. He's alive. God is not dead. God is not dead. He is not dead. God is not dead. Why don't you trust him and you will see what is done for you and me? God is not dead. He's alive. Alive, alive, alive. He's alive. My God, he is not dead. Your God, he is not dead. Our God, he is not dead. My God, he is not dead. The vessel God, he is not dead. Sister Annie's God, he is not dead. Sister Karen's God, he is not dead. Our God, he is not dead. God is not dead. Hallelujah. God is not dead. Why don't you trust him and you will see what is done for you and me? God is not dead. He's alive. Alive, 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 alive. He's alive. My God, he is not dead. Your God, he is not dead. Sister Price God, he is not dead. Brother Eric's God, he is not dead. Your God, he is not dead. Our God, he is not dead. Your God, he is not dead. Our God, he is not dead. My God, he is not dead. Your God.
Genesis chapter 29 from verse 16, and I want to title this message Tender Eyes. woman. Turn to the woman next to you and say, lady or woman, you have tender eyes. You know, one good thing about Jesus, he used to call the woman daughter or lady. And I found out by study that when Jesus called a woman, it was a respectable term. And daughter also was a respectable term. He called his own mother, woman, my time has not yet come. It was not an insult, it was a respectable term to call a lady, a woman, or daughter be of good faith. This story here about Jacob and the two wives that he married is an amazing story. Jacob is my favorite character in the Bible. I admire a lot of things about Jacob. So I want to pick up the story from verse 16 because you may have read the story, how he was sent to get a wife and what befalls him. And sometimes we look at the negative side of the story, but this morning I want to stay on the positive side. So from verse 16, now Laban had two daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were weak. I think the King James said tender. But Rachel was beautiful. Note, she was beautiful in form and appearance. Jacob loved Rachel. So he said, I will serve you as a hired workman for 7 years in return for the privilege of marrying Rachel, your younger daughter. Laban said, it is better that I give her in marriage to you than give her to another. Stay and work with me. So Jacob served Laban for 7 years for the right to marry Rachel. But there seems like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Genesis chapter 29, and I'm reading this from another translation, verse 17. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. I'm reading another translation. I think this is the Hebrew translation. Leah had attractive eyes, but Rachel had a beautiful figure and beautiful features. Jacob loved Rachel. So he offered, I will work 7 years in return for your younger daughter Rachel. I want to point out some few things. I could go deep into this story, but I want to just point out some few things because I will not be long. The two women in this story is a message for women everywhere, all over the world, because women go through similar experiences. One woman had attractive eyes, And it seemed like she did not have a beautiful figure, but her eyes was attractive. So in other words, all she had maybe is just eyes. Look at the lady next to you and see if she have eyes. All she had was beautiful eyes. The other woman had a beautiful figure and beautiful features. In other words, she had a beautiful body. And you know something? That is what men is going after today. They are like Jacob. Maybe Rachel had fixed up herself with makeup and different things. Because today we live in a world where women are beautifying themselves outwardly to look very attractive. So Rachel was very attractive outwardly, but Leah had tender eyes. And I want to stay more on the positive here. So we note that the man Jacob loved which one? Why? Because of the outward beauty. And when I look at the story, Leah was more a blessing to Jacob than Rachel. In a matter of fact, Rachel was barren. She was unproductive. And when you look at the blessings that he got from his two wives, Leah blessed him more. She had more children. And you know, the story includes that the wives had the right to give their husband their maid or their maiden to wife and claim the children. That was the custom of the day. And the two sisters did that. But he had more children for Leah. But Rachel, the beautiful one, she was bitter, resentful, and very mean to her sister. I repeat this. She was beautiful, but she was very mean, and she was bitter. Because the custom in those days, you could have married 4 wives. When we were in Bungama, I asked the pastor about that custom, and he said to me, Pastor, right now, we have a man in our church. He has 2 wives and 2 set of children. I make a joke with Sister B. I said, I should have lived in Africa. She said, you must say that. I said, how are you making out with them? He said, Pastor, that's the custom. And he wants to be a preacher or a pastor. And the Bible says a bishop must have what? 1 wife. So you have to understand customs here. They were not doing anything wrong. This was the custom of the day. But one of the sisters, the one that was beautiful, she was bitter, she was resentful, she was mean. She was mean, and many women are embittered by their lives' experiences because of the experiences. and I should use the word many beautiful women, they become very bitter and hateful and resentful. Don't do like Rachel here. They're hardened, unmerciful. Because you're talking about her sister, or elder sister, because that was the custom of the day. She didn't have to get bitter and resentful. Some women have allowed the painful experiences of life to wash away their inward beauty. Because you can be beautiful externally and internally. (29:7) from another translation. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel beautiful and well-favored. So apart from striking external beauty, there are many other things God has endowed women with. Because in our time, women are trying all in their uttermost power to look beautiful externally, and sometimes forget who they are in the inside. Think about it. You must know who you are in the inside. Because God has blessed you with many, many good things. You may not be blessed with beautiful figure, but you are blessed with other things. You're blessed with other things, and you must be aware of this. So it is not all about physical beauty. It's not all about physical beauty. Some women are trying all in their uttermost power to look beautiful on the outside, and nothing is wrong with that. But in doing that, you can totally lose who you are or who you will in the inside. You're trying to be like them. And from information, I found out that there are companies that are doing well by providing everything to make you look beautiful on the outside. They could give you a hip too, a better buttocks, an artificial, what you call it again? And this is big time business. And it has been arranged by Satan. Notice we ain't taking them on, you know. I see few men trying to do that, wear their pants tight. But most of the time, men, we don't take on the devil. You just see some big-nosed men, they're still getting beautiful women. You don't have to do all those things to be accepted. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. So it's not all about physical beauty. Proverbs 30 or 31, and let me just read two verses there, verse 30 and 31. It says, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Can you imagine that? Beauty is what? Vain. Ask Samson. Samson just did love beautiful women. And what happened to him? he ended up in the enemy camp, blinded, lost his strength, and eventually his life. God help you all, you men who are like Jacob. You're just looking at the outer beauty. God help you all. As a matter of fact, one came to me sometime, a guy, and he was telling me some things. I can't really see what I want to see on the pulpit. If I was just talking to just ladies, I would have be totally transparent. So Jacob, Mr. Jacob was only looking at the figure. And he decided, I will work 7 years. So he really worked about 14 years. One commentator indicate that by the time Laban decided to give Jacob Rachel, Jacob spent some time with her. He said it's not necessary that he had to wait 7 years. The custom was not like that. You want my daughter? I say yes. The ceremony was something else because you have to pay the bridal price. Something like what the Nigerian have today. You give consent for your daughter, and from that time, she really becomes the man's wife until the bridal price is paid. So note here that favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. That's why personally I do not like too much of favor. My wife told me that's a pride. My children, especially my 2 daughters, just tell me that too. Daddy, Rachel, she just tell me plain, Daddy, you proud, you know. It's not that I'm proud, you know. Honestly, I don't like too much of favor because there can be deceit in the favor. If you're doing something for me, you have to do it with all your heart, with no ulterior motive. I'm sensitive to that. And note it says, beauty is vain. So beauty is vanity. So men don't go just after external beauty. Thank God if you have external beauty and a good wife or a good woman. But hear what he says. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. But a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. She shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her at the gates. Let her own works praise her at the gates. A woman must have tenderness in her eyes. That is what is indicated in the original. Leah had tenderness in her eyes. Some people thought that it meant that she had a problem in her eyes. Like she had tender eyes. Something about her eyes. She was a wise woman. She was a capable woman. And who knows, from God's perspective, Leah was the wife that was given to Jacob. But Jacob loved Rachel. And the love there is not agape. It's romantic love. It's not agape love. Sexual love. That's why so many men sometimes does be disappointed. Let me try to stay on the positive this morning. I said a woman must have tenderness in her eyes. Let me give you different kinds of tender eyes. Tender eyes come in many different forms. And I want to speak to you personally as a woman. Woman, I'll call your daughter. Your tender eyes may come as a loving, gentle, meek, kind, and friendly woman. This is what you have in opposed to the next woman, beauty. You have tenderness, you are loving, you are kind, you are gentle, you are meek. And you may be a very friendly woman. And friendliness is the most important ingredient in any marriage. It is said that most marriages that survive because of friendship in the marriage. When you and your husband are best of friend, you and your wife, best of friend. I could see a lot here on friendliness or on friendship. It has a lot to do with openness. You know, Jesus is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. You know, you build a relationship with Jesus. He said, you are my friend if you do whatsoever I command you. That comes through openness. As you open your life to Him, the bond becomes closer and closer. And one of the things I found out through counseling and in my own life and in my own marriage, close off part of your life to your mate, he or she will never get that close to you. I don't care how much you think you are in love. You got to open up your whole life. Even God, as powerful as God is, if you don't open your life to God, the relationship will not be established as it ought to be established. You and Jesus ought to become one, not so? Husband and wife ought to become what? One.
You've been viewing the ministry of the Radical Voice of Power, Bishop Roll Reed of the Mount Grace Open Bible Church. Join us again for another power-packed session. And remember, one touch from Jesus and your life will never be the same again. To obtain a copy of this message, call our office at 639-6403. God bless you.